we're going to talk about Wembanyama. But first of all, let's look at game one Monday. Wolves 104, Spurs 102. Edwards came off the bench the first game back from that knee bone contusion hyperextension, right? Uh, he played like 25 minutes, dropped 18, 11 just in the fourth quarter, including the game-winning bucket, stayed in the bench role due to recovery, right? But let's look at Wemby's game one line stats: 11 points, 15 rebounds, 12 blocks, playoff triple-double, plus the most blocks in any NBA playoff game in history. Through three quarters, he already had 10, tying the previous record, and tacked on two more in the fourth. He's now the youngest player ever, 22 years old, 120 days, to record a triple-double with blocks in a playoff series. Since 73-74, he joined Hakeem and Andrew Bynum as the only players to ever do it. But let's look at game number two, because I told you I was roasting you a little bit. I was like, what happened, Matthew? But game two, oh my goodness, 133-95, a 38-point margin, the worst postseason loss in Timberwolves franchise history. Wemby, 19 for 15. Stephon Castle, game high 21. Most points in the Spurs playoff game since 1983. What happened, Matthew, between game one to game two? Tell me what happened. I don't understand. It was like night and day.
You know, Sean, people were texting me after game one, wanted to make fun of me. You know, knowing I'm a Spurs fan. They wanted to say, oh, are you worried? Are you panicked? This is going to be a harder series. Look, man, teams slip. Teams lose game one. I was not worried at all after game one because game one, you got the worst possible performance from Wemby. And I know on offense, because I know people want to talk about, oh, wow, he got a lot of block shots. He got a lot of rebounds. Yes, we know Wemby's tall. We know Wemby block shots. But what you got from him on offense was just horrendous. 5 for 18, 0 for 8 from 3. And it just wasn't going to happen where Wemby and Fox were going to have another horrible game. And the other thing is the Timberwolves have a lot of guys that didn't contribute all season that are all suddenly playing like the best players in the world. And so when you see Terrence Shannon Jr. dropping 20, when you see Jaden McDaniels, who's very good, but averaged 14 points a game in the regular season, when you see him dropping 30, you know at some point these guys are going to revert to the mean. So after game one, which pretty much everything that could go right for the Wolves did go right for the Wolves, and they only won by 2 points, and San Antonio still had a really real opportunity to win that game, driving down 2 with 6 seconds to go and got a wide open look for 3. So if you're going to tell me that San Antonio is going to play their worst game of the season and it's still going to look that close, then I was telling everyone after game one, we ain't worried. Come on, man. The home team drops game one all the time. You know, teams get it stolen from them. And what I said was if they come out and really lay it on them, you know, like, if they really kick the you-know-what out of them in game two, then I'm not going to be worried at all. And what do they do, Sean? They just, they take out the belt in game two to the point that they were up 47 at one point. 47. Yeah. And, Ant couldn't really play that much because whatever's going on with his knee. And, it's very risky. The fact that even him playing 24 minutes, I think it's very risky out there with his knee. Terrence Shannon Jr. came down to earth. Jaden McDaniels came down to earth. They both only had 12 points. Dosunmu, your star backup from the first round, comes back from his injury, 0 for 4, only plays 10 minutes. So, of course, they have a lot of injuries. But I want to talk about something specific, but I think the Spurs are okay. Maybe it goes 6. I still think maybe Spurs in 5. Let's see how game 3 goes. But let me talk about this, Sean.
All right.
Devin Vassell. I don't know if people have seen the play yet. The alley-oop three-pointer where the shot clock is running down. He gets the hot potato ball from Champagny. Already starts going up in the air. No dip. Makes the three-pointer. If you haven't seen this play yet, which I'm sure you have, because if you're watching this random boxing and basketball podcast, I'm sure you like basketball enough to have seen clips throughout the day. But if for some weird reason this is the first time you're hearing about this three-pointer, go watch it right now. It's the most incredible thing. And here's I was talking to my boss about this, and he said, you know what, Matthew, When people are making shots like that, hang it up. It's over. Come back, hit the
Right.
shower, and fight another day because you're not going to win the ball game when the other team
Right.
makes shots like that.
Right. And Matthew, look, I also want to talk about Stephon Castle, right? Just a rookie dropped 21 points like that. But Matthew, one thing I want to bring up is what the commentators kept talking about. As good as Stephon Castle is
He's
playing,
strong.
he's constantly finding himself in foul troubles, like 5 fouls, flirting with 6 fouls, right? I mean, if you get in foul trouble like that against, like we talked about, them going against the Thunder, you getting in foul trouble sitting out, is that going to hurt the Spurs?
Oh, man, that's our enforcer. Come on, man. Like, people have been trying to get at Stephon Castle the whole playoffs, and he's been bucking right back at them. But he's a tough defender. And here's what we have right now is that not only he does get into foul trouble, he does play tough defense, but here's what the Spurs have at the guard position. We have an embarrassment of riches, as they say. We have so much at the guard position. So even you say Castle plays tough defense all game and fouls out. Okay, so what do we get next? Dylan Harper coming at you, who really
And he played good yesterday too.
and he's so limited in what he can do because he is clearly behind Castle and Fox right now. Maybe not in terms of talent, but in terms of what his role is on the Spurs. He's very clearly the backup to those guys. But okay, we'll foul Castle out and we'll trade some defense for offense and we'll give you some Dylan Harper driving to the rim. We'll give you some Dylan Harper step back 3-pointers. So it is what it is. If he's going to get the fouls, and we'll just hit you with Harper. But while he's out there, I think we want him doing exactly what he's doing. I think we want him playing that tough, hard-nosed defense. And you know what? A lot of these fouls aren't even fouls. A lot of these fouls are flops, but that's what happens when you play certain teams. They flop, and we saw it in the first round with Avdia. We're going to see it in the third round with FTA. And that is what it is, but I like Castle doing exactly what he's doing right now. And I love how strong he's playing on the defensive and on the offensive end where he's finishing through contact so often, including in the and one play that they're showing on the highlights, the one I've been seeing where he gets hit so hard and still manages to take that extra step and get the layup. We've seen that countless times this year.
And look, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember we talked on Monday night. Wasn't like the first 3 quarters, Champagny, he didn't really have no points at first, didn't he? And didn't he explode like maybe in the fourth quarter? Do you have those stats? You happen to have those stats like broken down by quarter what Champagny scored?
From what I remember, and this is just going on what I remember yesterday, he made 4 straight 3-pointers, and I believe it was in the third quarter. I'm not looking at it right now, but as I was watching it, and I was not watching it super closely because I was watching it from a date yesterday, but I did have my eye on it. And let me tell you this, the thought that dawned in my head. This is like the fifth best player you could ask for. Champagne's probably the 5th best player on our team. But just to have a guy that can casually step up and hit 4 straight 3-pointers when he hasn't done really anything the rest of the game, this guy is a beast, and he's going to be one of those people that he's so far down our rotation that it's going to be hard to keep him at some point, because at some point, some team's going to say, man, if this guy could be the 5th best player on the Spurs, why can't he be the 2nd best player on the Charlotte Hornets or the Brooklyn Nets? And they're probably going to overpay for him at some point. So he's the kind of player that maybe you don't get to keep. Although OKC has done a pretty good job of being a small market and convinced their role players to stick around. So maybe the Spurs GM needs to get Sam Presti on the phone and see what he's doing. But Champagne's got to be the 5th best player on a team and could easily be a lot of teams' 2nd or 3rd best player. So, shout out Champagny for getting hot, even if he didn't have it for a lot of the game.
All right, let's see if we can find on here. Nah, I can't find it. Yeah, I can't find it per quarter. I wish I had it per quarter. But overall, yeah, but he had like 4 3-pointers. Let's see, he did hit 4 3-pointers in the third quarter. He did actually pretty good. 12 points in just the third quarter alone on 4 3-pointers. But yeah, I wish I knew what website to go to look at per quarter, but I don't think he was doing anything at first, but then he just exploded.
I got it right here on Basketball Reference, Sean. In the third
okay.
quarter, Champagnie played 9 minutes, 4 of 4 from the field, which all 4 of them were 3-point shots, 12 points, 2 assists and a board. He was +6 in 9 minutes in the third quarter, where just to come into the third with 0 points, sitting on 0, and to come in and just
Yeah. So I was right. It's like the full first half, he didn't score nothing, right?
and then he just turned into an absolute flamethrower. So to have that from your last option on your starting lineup, because I would say you're going to Fox, you're going to Castle, you're going to Wemby, you're going to Vassell before you're going to Champagnie, and a lot of times you might be going to Johnson and Harper before you go to Champagnie. So to have that from your 5th, 6th, 7th option to just go flamethrower and give you 12 points in the third, that's huge. And the Spurs have so much depth, and they're so good when they just play their game. And I just worry that as the playoff goes on, they're not unflappable like some of those 2010 Spurs teams, the Duncan, Ginobili, Parker teams. But when they're playing their game, they're just as good as